All right, so we got a strategy. Maybe we're making a few bucks, but you want to make more. You want to maximize it. You want to see if you can take it to the next level like the pros, or like some people on YouTube who make some pretty outrageous claims. Maybe they back it up, maybe they don't. Nevertheless, we feel like we're not maximizing things. And in this video, I want to systematically lay out the process through things that I'm doing, but also a logical way to go about this. So when you systematically try to expand your strategy to make more money, you don't do it in a way that's going to completely derail what you had prior. But before we get there, there's a couple of things I do need to make sure we understand. First things first, this can easily be misunderstood with unprofitability. Expanding your trading strategy is absolutely not the answer if you're not actually profitable with a strategy already. So first things first, we need to get profitable with at least one strategy before we can start talking about expanding that strategy. Makes sense, but it's a little piece that people in their heads, I was there too, you think that this is the answer, but when you don't even have a strategy first off, right? You might go off of somebody else's strategy or something you think should work or something you started trading, you think it looks pretty good, but you don't actually have the data to back it up and you don't have the consistent results to back it up yet. Get that first, then let's talk. Now, personally, this is kind of where I'm at in my own trading. Like I have a strategy that I've been running and trading with that has proven to me like it works, but I think I can maximize it. I think I can make it better. And so I want to go about systematically expanding that. And I've done so or started to do so. And I'll explain what I mean by that. But in my opinion, you need hundreds of trades to be at that point. You can't come in with a strategy and say, okay, like, I've been trading it for a couple of days or a couple of weeks and, it looks pretty good. And like, no. If you take trades based off of weekly and daily time frames, maybe hundreds is a lot. But if you're someone who day trades, I mean, come on, 100 trades, like it's not that insane to get to. You'll get there eventually. And once you're there, you're going to have a lot of data and you're going to really understand if you're profitable or not. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm hundreds and hundreds of trades. And even more so now, I'm at the point where I trade on larger time frames. So the trade volume like per month is slowly diminishing. But I've now gotten to the point where I feel like I have a pretty darn good base of trades and of data to play with. Now, before we get into the next part of the video, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Iron Beam.
Welcome to Iron Beam, the future of futures trading. With our cutting-edge chart trading feature and 300+ indicators, you can now trade directly off the chart anytime, anywhere. Delivering seamless trading across all platforms, the Iron Beam journey is supported by 24-hour trader support, low day trade margins, and no account minimums. Iron Beam brings the future into the present. Join now and augment your trading experience.
All right, so question here. Why would we want to go about expanding or trying to modify our strategy? Well, because if you trade one way long enough, you'll start to understand or you'll start to see things. And you'll understand, you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. But hey, it's not my strategy. I'm not going to do it. And once you have the restraint, the mental restraint to not take those trades, right? That shows your growth and your progression as a trader because you're not doing random shit. You're trading your setups, your strategy, and that's it. But with that will come the questions in your head like, I think there could be something there. Like this little offshoot to my strategy. Yeah, I think there could be something there because I've seen it enough, but I'm not sure. Thinking of it as like trails you haven't explored. You're hiking the main trail and this gets you from point A to point B. But there are these other trails and you're like, I don't know if it gets you to the top and maybe it'll get me there faster, or maybe it'll be a little bit less crowded, or maybe there won't be as many obstacles on those trails, but I'm not sure. Like think of it that way. We have our main trail, but we want to take these other ones, or we want to at least explore these other ones at some point. And as you have more experience, you have the ability to go ahead and do so. Bring in numbers. Let's say we use something like a profit factor. So let's say our strategy has a profit factor of 1.25 after 6 months of trading it. And that means we're profitable. Over a 1 means profitable. 1.25, maybe it is a really good number for someone. Maybe it's not. Again, it doesn't really matter. As you scale up over time, 1.25 is profitable. As you trade more money, you'll make more money. It's as simple as that. So you're profitable. But what if we can bump that 1.25 to 1.3 or 1.4? What if trying something else or expanding our strategy could bump us up just a nudge? And now we're a little more efficient. Maybe we're a little leaner, right? Our strategy's working a little more efficiently, and now we're making a little more. Maybe we're increasing our win rate. Maybe we're increasing our risk reward. Something along those lines is contributing to making a little bit more money with our strategy if we kind of add this piece or we try this. And that's the goal. That's how you want to be thinking about it. Bumping that win rate from 48% to 49.5%. Bumping that average risk reward from 1.4 to 1.5 or 1.6. Like, these are the little incremental things that can really make a big difference over a larger sample size. And this is like what real trading is. It's actually like, it's not about, going from one thing that maybe, wins half the time to now winning 90. No, you're not going to win 90% of the time. That's not real trading. It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. Kick that idea out. Like, it doesn't, please, if you're thinking that way, no. It's these small, it's again, little things, but they add up over larger trades. And as you increase your size, as you have more experience, more capital to work with, you're trading for longer and you're profitable, right? These are the things that can maximize your time and your efforts on the charts. We're constantly pursuing perfection or trying to improve, right? It's this constant seeking of improvement, knowing we're never gonna be perfect, but we can get a little bit better. And that's what it is. The actual job and what we're going to do here right now is not difficult, but it's I focus on the mindset first because it's the mindset that we need to have going in that's exponentially more important, because if we just jump into it, the actual actions are very simple. The mindset and how we approach it is very important because that is going to set up our actions. If we're thinking about it in a different way, where we're thinking about completely changing our strategy or going from this to that, and just jumping all in and like trying to go from a 50% win rate to a 75, like, no. I want to hammer that home. No, that's not at all what we're doing. We are going to make one change at a time. Yes, one change at a time. Logically, this makes the most sense. This can be a slow process, but if you have something that already works, who cares? Like, you're profitable over here. This works, so keep doing this. But now we're going to test one variable. We're going to change one thing, okay? Now, let me go through an example from my own trading. Let's say that you're someone that plays a lot of flag breaks, and maybe your strategy is a bull flag break, but you're recognizing something here that on the bull flags that don't work, whereas we break the highs and it goes up and then it immediately starts coming right back down and closes underneath that breakout level and starts to fail. We can call that like a failed breakout, right? Or a false breakout. Could be the same thing on the downside too. Failed breakdown, and then it snaps right back up. The strategy is the flag break, bull flag or bear flag. Our offshoot is, instead of taking our loss and then walking away, take our loss on the flag, but then initiate a short position and use that short or that recent high that we just had on the flag break as our risk, and now see if we can get this trade to work to the downside or to the upside if it's a bear flag break. So we're taking a failed version of our strategy and implementing a way to potentially profit on the failure of it. And that's kind of like this little offshoot that we can start to test. After ample data, 25 plus trades, something along those lines, we're going to have a decent idea if we've got something there and want to keep pursuing that. Maybe from there, there's one more adjustment. Maybe from there, we look at the bigger time frames. Does that align with the larger time frames? If it doesn't, maybe we don't take it. If it does, we take it. And so we start to take these little pieces at a time and we test 25 plus trades, make an adjustment, test again. And we keep doing this. And it's a way that we can still trade our strategy, but we're using times that our strategy maybe fails to start to initiate a way to potentially play the opposite side. And so again, our core strategy remains the same, but we're now playing the offshoots of it. And if we have data that looks very promising and we can gather data and we analyze that and say, hey, this looks pretty interesting. When XYZ conditions present, this has a win rate of 60% or 52% or 48%, which is maybe better than what my original strategy was. Now, let's see if we can match risk reward. Let's see if we have something bigger here. And if we do, and we track that, and we do over now a larger sample size, 100 trades, now we really have something that could supplement and continue to improve our overall trading with this additional piece of our strategy. So the next question is, how the hell do we keep track of all this stuff? I personally use TradeZella. You could track this out on Excel spreadsheets, but again, the most important piece is one at a time. Test one variable at a time. I like to do this in TradeZella where I have my main strategy. I'll have that tagged in one of the tags as I go back and journal my trades, and then I'll create an additional tag, and I will tag all these as false breakout trades, and I'll tag that. And when I tag those, I'm now building up a list of every trade that I trade a false breakout, and I'm gathering that data. So I can see how that plays out over the course of weeks, months, and maybe even quarters and years. And then I can go from there and say, hey, this is something that I want to play, or no, I'm not going to touch this. I'm not going to trade false breakouts anymore. I'm going to go back to my main strategy and keep doing that. And maybe there's something else that I'll recognize over time from there that I can use to adjust. Maybe it's adjusting a stop loss. Maybe it's adjusting a take profit and going little by little with that as my base. Hope it was helpful. Leave any questions, comments down below. Make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.